Good afternoon and welcome to the latest edition of Amherst Wire. I'm Leah Aliberti.
And I'm Adria Kelly. Today we'll bring you the latest efforts combating controversial bathroom bills.
We'll look at how students are trying to cut down on waste.
And you'll want to hang around for the closer. Tonight, a truly amazing video looking down on the Northern Lights. But first, let's span the globe.
Our first story this afternoon, repeated Russian flybys of U.S. military ships may be part of a political strategy. An expert from the Center for Strategic and International Studies says Russia's President Vladimir Putin may be trying to cause or create an accident or incident. A U.S. response could divert Russia's attention from its economic troubles.
Additional trouble from the skies in the South China Sea. A Chinese military jet landed on the disputed Yangshu Reef. China claims it was there to give humanitarian aid, but U.S. officials wonder why China used a military aircraft rather than a civilian one.
And tensions grow as the world wonders if Brazil will be able to pull off the 2016 Summer Olympics. First, there's the Zika virus. A crippling recession has left hundreds of thousands unemployed and sent inflation through the roof. And now, its president may be impeached on financial charges.
Here at UMass, students have apparently won, forcing the university to sell off interests in fossil fuel companies. After years of fighting, students say they feel like David taking down Goliath. This follows days of student protests, sit-ins, and dozens of students being arrested. Student leaders say the foundation has taken a step in the right direction, but they're not letting up on the pressure. They also hope to highlight the social injustice they believe is caused by fossil fuel industries.
Social justice and sustainability seem to always be part of the conversation here at UMass Amherst. As Amherst Wire's Kate Ferrante shows us, one student has come up with a way to make students aware of how much they waste.
Don't create a monster, don't feed the monster. Trash Monster is a sculpture that we're making that is made out of compostable to-go containers, and it's basically a message to...
Students will keep working on the project over the coming weeks. It will stay in Blue as a constant reminder to not feed the monster.
I've seen that thing. I'm excited to see where it ends up.
Me too.
Coming up, Amherst Wire takes you in a different direction. We'll look at a terrorist attack in Kabul.
A natural disaster swamps Houston.
And the New York primaries proved disastrous for Democratic voters.
The Taliban claims responsibility for an attack near the Afghan Defense Ministry in Kabul this morning. An official said militants targeted a security team providing protection for government VIPs, killing 28 people and wounding more than 300. According to ministry spokesman Sadiq Shadiki, a suicide bomber detonated a truck filled with explosives behind the ministry compound. Other armed attackers entered the building and began shooting. The attack comes a week after the Taliban declared a spring offensive. Most of the victims were civilians, including women and children.
Serious rains in Houston gave way to serious flooding. A series of strong thunderstorms over the weekend plunged Houston into 2 feet of water. The floodwaters stopped vehicle traffic, closed schools and universities, and cut off electricity to about 110,000 people. According to a National Weather Service expert, the rain fell at more than 4 inches per hour at peak intensity. City emergency services used high-water vehicles and boats to rescue stranded citizens, and the city opened several emergency shelters.
Here in Massachusetts, we have the opposite problem. It's too dry. Amherst Wire's Haley Reiger is out on the UMass campus with a live report on the red flag warnings. Haley, it looks too good out there to be a problem.
I don't have it. Fucking shit.
Number 2. Move on. Next story.
New York's primary day was marked by big victories for Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, but also by chaos at the polls. The New York Board of Elections purged 125,000 Democratic voters from the rolls yesterday, forcing them to use provisional ballots instead of standard ballots. Entire buildings and city blocks were taken off the polls, preventing many New Yorkers from casting their votes. On top of the purge, several polling stations opened late, and some voters even had their party affiliation changed without their knowledge. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio called for reforms to the Board of Elections. This morning, a voters' right group went to Brooklyn Federal District Court to demand provisional ballots be counted before the primaries' results are certified.
Coming up, more entertainers cancel shows in North Carolina.
And the governor of Michigan vows to drink the water from Flint.
The rock band Pearl Jam joined other entertainers as the latest to boycott North Carolina following the state's ban on anti-discrimination ordinances. The band canceled tonight's show in Raleigh. Frontman Eddie Vedder called North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory's controversial bathroom law a despicable assault on the gay, lesbian, and transgender community. Bruce Springsteen, Andy DeFranco, and Ringo Starr also refused to perform in the state due to the law. And a group of U.S. senators hopes to convince the National Basketball Association to move its 2017 All-Star Game out of Charlotte.
In similar news, a Tennessee transgender bathroom bill failed in the state House of Representatives after its sponsor withdrew her support. Representative Susan Lynn, a Republican, said she needed to tweak the legislation, keeping an eye on what's happening with the North Carolina anti-discrimination ban. The bill's failure is preceded by intense debate over potential economic damage to the state's revenue from outside sources, who would disagree with the bill's content. Representative Lynn says she plans on reviving the bill next year. Drones are becoming more available for use all over the world, but a recent accident highlights an unfortunate side effect. Amherst Wire's Britta Turner is live at UMass to tell us about an airborne accident involving a private drone. Britta?
But it's got nothing to do with the military kind of drone strike. This is the kind of drone where it hits a plane flying 1,700 feet in the air. Recently, a British Airways passenger jet was hit by a private drone while it was approaching landing in Heathrow Airport. The aircraft was landed safely and was safe to fly after inspection by engineers. But this incident has raised questions about public airspace. As drones like this one I have here become more publicly available, countries have to make decisions about how they will protect the safety of others. Researchers from Cranfield University said that although small drones like this one don't pose much of a risk to larger planes, a drone larger than this could cause significant damage, especially if it were sucked into an engine. Aerospace research estimates there are several million drones across the country right now.
Thanks, Britta. After months of criticism for his handling of the Flint water crisis, Michigan Governor Rick Snyder says he's giving in and he will drink the water. Snyder announced he'll finally drink Flint water at home and at work for at least 1 month. Flint residents demanded the governor drink Flint's water like they have after researchers declared the water to be safe so long as a filter is used. Flint's water underwent lengthy testing and review, but an expert said in order for the city system to fully recover, more water needs to flow through it.
After a quick break, NASA has a new 4K video of the Northern Lights.
Johnny Depp produces an odd apology video.
And the story of a stolen rare guitar.
I'm Ananya Rao. I'll bring you a story on how the ILC's complex water system helps the campus environment. All this coming up.
Actor Johnny Depp and his wife Amber Heard released a bizarre video apology after breaking Australia's biosecurity law. In 2015, when visiting the country to film a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, the couple failed to declare their 2 Yorkshire Terriers. Once Australian authorities discovered the dogs, Agricultural Minister Barnaby Joyce gave Depp and Heard 72 hours to get their terriers out of the country. Heard pleaded guilty to knowingly producing a false document, and an Australian court ordered the couple to make a video apology. Depp and Heard's deadpan delivery, however, made it clear the couple was not happy with the order. Online, Twitter users created the hashtag #WarOnTerrier to poke fun at the Australian government.
Guitars may be a dime a dozen, but each one has a story to tell. Amherst Wire's Ron Garza brings us one guitar's story of loss and reunion. Police later arrested the burglar outside of an Amherst Dunkin' Donuts on an unrelated charge.
All the construction on campus is a sign of the growth for the university. But Ananya Rao tells us in a live report it's also a problem for the ecology. I understand the university came up with an interesting solution for this problem at the Integrative Learning Center.
Here's the problem. This whole area used to be covered in grass and was able to soak up all the water without any problem. But when this building and all its sidewalks were built, there was nowhere for the water to go. So the design team drains all the water, all the storm water, into this system and into a 15,000 gallon tank buried right beneath me here. That way the water doesn't go into the sewer system or into the pond. And you see this brown metal box right here by me. This is the watertronic system built especially to use the water tank to irrigate this patch of ground, making sure it stays green all summer long. The university is evaluating how well this system works in order to know if they should be installing the same system in buildings. Reporting by Ananya Rao, Amherst Wire, UMass campus.
That's a nifty solution. Thanks, Ananya.
Now take a look at this. It's most likely the most beautiful thing you'll see all day. NASA just released this phenomenal video of the Aurora Borealis and the Aurora Australis. The time-lapse shots were taken from the International Space Station and shows the dancing lights in ultra-high definition. The northern lights, as they're often called, occur when electric charges in Earth's magnetic field hit neutral atoms in the upper atmosphere. And to combine your art science lesson with a little history, the phenomena is named after Aurora, the Roman goddess of dawn.
It's very beautiful. But that's all we have for today. I'm Leah Aliberti.
And I'm Adria Kelly. From us and all the folks behind the scenes here at the Amherst Wire, have a great day.